Hey there, and welcome to this interactive explainer. If you're a focused learner looking to really sharpen your project management instincts, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going straight to the core of the PMI-ACP examination outline. We're specifically looking at Domain 1 Agile Mindset Essentials. And rather than just reading through dry textbook theory, we're actually going to test your reflexes. We'll be breaking down the essential tenets of the Agile Mindset using real-world scenarios drawn straight from the current Project Management Institute framework. So get ready to put on your project manager hat, because we're jumping right in.
All right, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to navigate through 5 distinct workplace scenarios. Experimentally, the core Agile principle, the power of transparency, fostering psychological safety, and finally, embracing the unexpected.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Experiment Early. We're going to look at validating our assumptions and shifting our focus squarely onto delivering true customer value. Imagine you're sitting at your desk, right? And your team brings up this major concern. They are entirely unsure whether a new feature they've been asked to build will actually provide any real value to your customers. Think about your gut instinct here. What should the team do first? Take a split second to think about how you'd react. All right, here are your options. Would you? A. Just go ahead and build the full feature anyway? B. Conduct a lightweight experiment? C. Immediately escalate this uncertainty to the project sponsor and let them deal with it? Or D. Simply delay development altogether? Okay, let's dive into this. The correct Agile solution here is B. Conduct a lightweight experiment. Think about it. Building the full feature wastes resources if the customer doesn't actually want it. Delaying development just completely halts your progress. And escalating to the sponsor, well, that's just avoiding taking team responsibility. You see, the Agile mindset is governed by this really profound golden rule. When you're unsure of value, you don't stall. You conduct a lightweight experiment to gather data. The underlying philosophy here is that Agile strongly favors validating your assumptions early, long before you commit significant time, money, and energy to a full build. It is all about shortening that feedback loop. Moving right along to Section 2, Agile Principle. This section is all about core Agile thinking and finding that true North Star for your team. So here's our next scenario for you to chew on. Out of a series of statements, you need to identify which one truly captures the heartbeat of Agile thinking. What's the fundamental goal we're going for? And this brilliantly illustrates the classic tug-of-war in project management. On one side, we have option A, follow the original plan strictly. This represents the traditional, rigid mindset, often called waterfall, where the plan is basically sacred. On the flip side, we have option B, deliver value incrementally. Instead of waiting months for some massive launch, you give the customer smaller, usable pieces of the project step by step. Traditional pitfalls usually include avoiding customer interaction or rigidly preventing any requirement changes. The correct answer, of course, is B. Delivering value incrementally is the absolute essence of Agile. It's the realization that sticking strictly to an original plan that no longer serves the customer is just a recipe for failure. By delivering value in increments, you allow for continuous customer interaction, and honestly, you actually welcome requirement changes because you're adapting as you go. All right, Section 3, the power of transparency. Let's focus on improving visibility and shifting our attention over to team culture. Think about your own everyday workplace for a second. How do you track progress? If you wanted to radically improve transparency across your entire team and stakeholders, what is the absolute best way to do it? Let's look at the options. A. Weekly executive reports only. B. An information radiator. C. Private progress tracking. Or D. Email summaries. We've all felt the frustration of hidden data, haven't we? Relying on private progress tracking, where only one person holds the keys to the castle, or just waiting around for those dense email summaries that inevitably get buried in your inbox. The answer here is B. Information radiator. Now, we all know the jargon, but let's take a second to unpack what this practically looks like in a healthy Agile environment. Notice how transparency is framed here. It's not just another meeting, it's an environment. An information radiator is a highly visible physical or digital display of your team's progress. Think of a giant Kanban board or a digital dashboard displayed on a huge monitor right in the middle of the office. It actively replaces private tracking or those hidden email summaries. The data literally radiates to anyone walking by. And this matters far more than just sending weekly executive reports, because it democratizes the information for everyone in real time. Okay, Section 4, fostering psychological safety. Let's talk about building team trust, which is a profoundly human element within any successful team.
Here's a highly relatable office dynamic. You're in a meeting and you notice a team member is hesitating to raise a concern. They look unsure, maybe even a little intimidated. Take a pause. As an Agile leader, what's your best response to this hesitation?
Take a look at how these options contrast harsh, traditional reactions against collaborative ones. A. Escalate the concern to management. B. Encourage open dialogue. C. Ignore the concern completely. Or D. Reassign the member to a different task. Actually, ignoring the concern or punishing the team member by reassigning them, that completely destroys trust.
So the crucial point is that B, encouraging open dialogue, is the only true Agile response here. Psychological safety means creating an environment where your team members feel truly safe to take risks and voice their thoughts without any fear of punishment. When someone hesitates, an Agile leader steps in to foster that safety, ensuring every single voice is heard to prevent critical issues from being swept under the rug.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, Embracing the Unexpected. This section is all about handling late changes, which is basically the ultimate test of any project manager's reflexes. Here it is, the dreaded scenario. You're deep into the project, you're approaching the finish line, and the customer suddenly comes in with a late-stage requirement change. How does the Agile framework tell us to respond to this? Your options are A. Reject the change outright. B. Evaluate the impact collaboratively. C. Freeze the scope so no changes can be made. Or D. Escalate the issue immediately. Man, in the real world, it is incredibly tempting to just lock the doors, choose option C, and freeze the scope to protect your timeline. But true Agile demands answer B. Evaluate the impact collaboratively. The Agile mindset dictates that we don't panic, we don't immediately escalate, and we certainly do not reject customer needs. Instead, we sit down as a team, we look at the late change, and collaboratively evaluate how it impacts our timeline, our budget, and our incremental delivery. We embrace the change because our ultimate goal is customer value, not just protecting an outdated plan. We've journeyed through the absolute core of the PMI-ACP Agile Mindset today. We've seen exactly why we must experiment early to validate assumptions, how delivering value incrementally totally beats following strict plans, the importance of radiating information for total transparency, the necessity of psychological safety, and finally, why we must evaluate late changes collaboratively. The frameworks are clear, but the real test is always in the execution. So as we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with this. Are you ready to shorten your feedback loops, embrace change, and apply these Agile instincts to your very next project? Keep these scenarios in mind, and you'll be well on your way.